Hello, our team is made up of Luis Carlos, Bianca, Maria Jesus, and me, Maria Isela. And we talk about the strategy evaluation. Index. The topics that will be discussed are the following: definition and purpose of strategy evaluation, characteristic of effective evaluation systems, example Coca-Cola, tools and techniques for evaluation, contingency plans and corrective actions. Below is a video to provide feedback on the issues, conclusion, and bibliography. Definition and purpose of strategic evaluation. Definition. It can be defined as the process of determining the effectiveness of a given strategy in achieving organizational objectives and taking corrective action wherever required. It is a system of monitoring, supervision, and follow-up. And purpose. Carry out a detailed analysis of the current situation of the company in order to identify critical processes, assess positioning, identify areas of opportunity, and offer a support plan based on specific needs. The objectives of strategic evaluation are of follows: the need, the need for feedback. Within an organization, there is a need to receive feedback on current performance so that appraisal can be done. The next, appraisal and reward. Good performance should be rewarded. This is essential for motivating the employees. Strategic evaluation and control help a lot here. The next, check the validity of a strategic choice. A strategic evaluation and control help to keep a check on the validity of a strategic choice. It helps to identify the faults and errors in a strategy. And the next, watching between decision and intended strategy. A strategic evaluation and control can be held to assess whether the decision match the intended strategy requirements. The next, a successful conclusion of the strategic management process. A strategic evaluation, through its process of control, feedback, rewards, and review help in a successful conclusion of the strategic management process. And the next, creating inputs for the new strategic planning. The process of strategic evaluation and control provides a considerable amount of information and experience to a strategy that uh, can be useful in new strategic planning to overcome resistance to change. Strategic evaluation and control help they identify the barriers of a given strategy and take corrective actions wherever required. Thus, it helps overcome resistance to change.
Characteristics of effective evaluation systems. Strategy evaluation can also be a sensitive process because of the human factor involved. Too much or too rigorous evaluation and control may be expensive and sometimes counterproductive. Also, authority and flexibility may be challenged, minimized, or even eliminated. Too little or no evaluation may create the opposite effect: lack of responsibility and accountability. In some companies, strategy evaluation simply means performance appraisal of the organization. This is also not correct. The evaluation system should be balanced and follow some norms and standards. Strategic analysts have laid down certain basic requirements which evaluation should comply with to be effective. And these are the main characteristics. First, strategy evaluation process or measures should be meaningful. These should specifically relate to the objectives, targets, and the plan. There should be clear focus and no ambiguity. Second, the strategy evaluation and control process should be economical. This means that the process should not be made necessarily elaborate and incurs too much cost or evaluation itself. Third, the evaluation process should conform to a proper time dimension for control and information retrieval or dissemination. Time dimension of control should coincide with the time span of the activity or the implementation phase. Also, information on developments or feedback should be timely to make evaluation and control more appropriate. Fourth, the strategy evaluation system should give a true picture of what is actually happening. The objective of evaluation is not fault finding. Sometimes performance may be overshadowed by external factors of the environment. For example, during a severe slump in economic business activity, productivity and profitability may decline in spite of best efforts by the managers to implement strategy. And fifth, strategy evaluation process shouldn't dominate or curb decisions. It should always promote mutual understanding, trust, and common cause. This means that all functional and operational areas should cooperate with each other in evaluating and controlling strategies. Strategy evaluation process should be simple and not too complex or restrictive. Here we have an example of the strategy evaluation, and this is the 360-degree appraisal. This is well known in all the big companies around the world. Well, not all the big companies, but a lot of the big companies use it. And as we all know, this is not just as an evaluation of the strategy, it actually evaluates many different things, but it also takes care about the strategy, the strategical evaluation. And as to refresh the memory, well, you have to remember that the 360-degree appraisal is applied in ascending and descending order into the organization. Here's the other part of the example.
Tools and techniques for evaluation. Tools. They serve to monitor the current status of the project, process, product, or service in order to have a detailed view of its status, evaluate it, or look for ways to improve it later. The first tool. The SWOT analysis is a perfect tool to evaluate an organization's strategical option in the current situation as is. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, where strengths and weaknesses are internal factors for the organization, opportunities and threats are external factors for the organization. The second tool is the VMOS analysis. The VMOS analysis is a tool developed by Rick Sunday. The second tool, it maps a hierarchy of elements that work in tandem to build an effective strategy for planning and evaluation. and evaluation. Vision and mission form the core of an effective strategy, providing guiding principles for the practical and tangible aspects of the plan. Objectives are the concrete and measurable part of a plan, the reference point through which you can most clearly and objectively measure success. Strategy is a course of action unifying benchmarks and vision. It lays out where you want to go and how you want to get there. The third tool, creating and measuring benchmarks. Once you've developed an overall picture of the direction you want your company to take, it's time to create a set of measurable goals. Align the goals for each stage with your long term vision. The fourth tool, analyzing variance. Variance is a degree that your performance divide, dev, deviates from the milestone you set. The acceptable level will be higher with medium and long term goals than with short term objectives. Techniques for evaluating the effectiveness of company strategies include evaluating internal and external forces that influence strategies execution, measuring company performance, and determining appropriate corrective measures. Internal forces, the first technique. Strategy evaluation should begin with an examination of the internal forces that will influence your company's ability to follow the strategic plan. The external forces, the second technique. The next technique for strategy evaluation is to consider the external forces that will influence your company's ability to complete its mission. The primary external force your company must face are your customers. Measuring performance, the third technique. The evaluation process will help you determine if the strategy you have developed is leading the company to meet its mission and goals.
I will talk about the contingency plans and corrective actions. In evaluating your business strategy, contingency plans, you should give your company the mobility necessary to shift focus to different aspects of your company and change operating strategy as needed in the market shift. Mobility is an essential element of contingency planning in your business strategy as a whole. Correcting performance. Contingency planning and risk management are essential components of any business strategy. A small business owner working on limited funds must pay careful attention to contingency planning and risk management, where evaluating the strength and weakness of a proposed business strategy. Smart planning can provide the edge the small business owner needs to establish a niche in the market and sustain growth. After your evaluation has considered all of the company historical performance data, the next step is determine that corrective measures should be taken to ensure company operations are correctly aligned with the strategic plan. Many times, making correction to a strategic operation will force change that will cause objections. Yet change is an essential element of the controlling process. You must ensure the company will be able to meet all of its short and long-term strategic goals. Adjusting strategy operation is an essential technique of a strategic evaluation. Making corrections. As you analyze your company's performance relative to its goals and its goals relative to its performance, you can develop update milestones, making that observation into account. As you analyze results, you can find that your overall strategy no longer makes sense as a way to move towards your mission and vision. Here is a video feedback on the topics we said previously.
Hello, and welcome to Marketing91.com. Strategic management involves decision-making that could have significant long-term consequences for an organization. Therefore, strategy evaluation is considered essential for an organization's well-being. Strategic evaluation and control aims to determine the effectiveness of a given strategy for achieving organizational objectives and taking necessary corrective actions. Criteria for evaluating strategy. Qualitative criteria that include internal consistency, consistency with environment, external consistency, appropriate use of organizational resources, minimize risk, workability of strategy, time horizon, short-term and long-term. Quantitative criteria, which include net profit obtained, ability to pay dividend, sales growth, market share, employee attrition and satisfaction, and cost efficiency. Steps of evaluation. Strategy evaluation is a phase in strategic management in which managers ensure that a strategic choice is implemented properly and is meeting organizational objectives. It involves the following steps. Determining what to measure. Top-level and operational managers need to identify the implementation processes and results that will be monitored and evaluated. Setting of standards. Strategists must establish performance targets, standards, and tolerance limit for organizational objectives, strategy, and implementation plans. Standards can pertain to quantity, quality, cost, and time. Measuring actual performance. Measuring actual performance may involve measurements in qualitative and quantitative terms and in terms of time and cost. Managers may accordingly ask for performance reports for their employees. Comparing actual performance with standards. Actual performance must be objectively compared against predetermined standards. Deviations, if any, must be identified. Measuring deviations. A comparison of actual and targeted performance may reveal deviations. For instance, if actual sales volume is 9,000 units against a target of 10,000 units, a deviation of 1,000 units exists. If the actual performance is within the desired tolerance range, the evaluation is stopped. Analyzing deviations. Any deviations observed are reported to higher management, who analyze the cause of these deviations. Management may accordingly conduct discussions with functional staff. Taking corrective actions. If an organization's actual performance falls outside the desired tolerance range, corrective action must be taken to correct deviations. This may require resetting of goals or objectives or revisions of plans, policies, and standards. Corrective steps must be taken at the right time to achieve organizational objectives. Example: MTR Foods. Determining what to measure. Sales of MTR products in India. Setting standards. Target to generate sales worth rupees 1,000 crore in 2015. Measuring actual performance. Sales in 2015 were at rupees 700 crores. Comparing actual versus target performance and measuring deviation. Difference of rupees 300 crore. Analyzing deviation. Unfavorable economic environment, inflation in food prices, lower than expected new consumer acquisitions, lack of presence other than offline. Taking corrective action. To remain relevant and be consumers' preferred choice, MTR is launching innovations and rebranding its products. Considering the dynamic industry environment and changing consumer behaviors, MTR has introduced 44 innovations in 3 years, with plans to introduce more in line with ongoing strategies. Further, many products have become commoditized in the last 2 years. To distinguish itself, MTR plans to expand product lines to appeal to different ethnic groups. Marketing. MTR currently runs multiple consumer-related programs in line with its belief that it is important for consumers to taste products in the food business. MTR has a reach of 2 lakh outlets and is witnessing a 30% increase in sales from rural areas annually, with 10 to 15% of its sales coming from rural areas. E-commerce. MTR has started offering its products online so that customers can access its entire product range. E-commerce is an extension of Nama MTR, outlets that are currently present in a few cities. MTR has also partnered with Big Basket and Grofers to deliver products. They aim to find local partners in each city over time. MTR's new sales target is Rs 2,000 crore by 2020. Stay tuned for more videos on marketing. Thank you.
In conclusion, the strategy evaluation is an important tool for assessing how well your business has performed relative to its goals. It's an important way to reflect on achievements and shortcomings, and it's also useful for relaxing the goals themselves, which may have been set at different time under different circumstances. That's everything. Thank you for your attention. Bye bye.